So I put a family mission statement in my family because with all these core values, with the goals that we have in our life, we needed to understand it. And we, Bobby and I, have this thing that we are creating that's a 100-year legacy plan. And we have hired a consultant to help us put this together. And I didn't know about this whole 100-year legacy thing and creating generational wealth. One day I met with Richard Branson about 6 years ago. And I was sitting down having a conversation with him. And he was talking to me about his generational plan. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I'm planning a 100-year legacy for my family because I want them to know how to handle this wealth when I'm not here, what I want them to do if I'm not here in my honor, what my piece of my wealth that I want to continue, even though that they don't want to be in it, I still want my generational wealth to be known, to be kept, to preserve it. So when I left there, I went to Bobby and I'm like, oh my God, this is my next mission. I have to do it. It's something that really resigned with me. I was like, we're doing this. I hired a consultant. My whole kids, everybody's involved. And what we learned from that consultant, it was incredible to know that our kids had a voice that they wanted to be in this generational wealth, because they told us, Mom, Dad, you want a 100-year legacy, but you're already midway to your life, right? Which I wanted to kill them when they told me this, but I'm like, huh. He goes, but you want 100 years. How do you want that to continue if we don't have a voice? Because we're the ones that are going to be running it. And I sat down and I looked at Bobby. I'm like, oh my God. Me and Bobby had wrote down our whole 100-year legacy. And when they looked at it, they said, well, that's your 100-year legacy, but you're passing the baton on to us. How do we continue this legacy if we don't have a voice? And it was so true. So at that point, we got the consultants to come in, and Bobby and I, my daughter and her husband, my son and his fiance, each have a consultant with the same team that we all meet individually. They meet with their consultants, we meet with our consultants, and then we meet together every 3 months to go over what we talk about monthly and to put that 100-year legacy together. We just had our family reunion, the first one with the consultants in person, all of us in one table, like a corporate meeting, and we started writing the 100-year legacy plan. And it's incredible, incredible. So, and the reason, so if you read my family mission statement, it says to perpetuate our legacy by cultivating personal growth and attacking life with purpose. So my daughter doesn't want to be in the real estate business. She doesn't like it. It's not something that she's passionate about. So when we started this legacy plan, we were like, well, you have to run the business. You have to run our real estate business. What do you mean you're not? Are you crazy? Of course you are. You're not selling it. She's like, well, what do you want me to do? I can't even bring value to the company. I don't like it. I don't know it. I don't want to. So we're like, whoa, okay? So personal growth, and if you attack life with purpose, do whatever you got to do. Just bring something that's going to give value to this life. Bring it on where you're going to bring something to this family that you could create generational wealth, legacy, with something you bring to the family trust, to the family tree. Whatever it is. So at that point is where I said, wow, okay, so you do what you got to go do. What do you want to do that you're going to bring in some value to your family? She has 2 babies. She has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. What are you going to bring to have those babies have a legacy that come from you? Beautiful. You don't want to run our real estate business? That's great. But you got to do something that's going to bring purpose, that's going to bring legacy to your family. So understanding that, guys, is very important, that your children, your spouse, your whatever, we all need to know what it is that you want to leave behind. And forget about financially. It's being a philanthropist, helping out in life, giving to others. That is a legacy. That's a legacy. It's not about financial. It's about what are you going to bring to this world to give value to. So that's a legacy. So knowing that is very important as well. So I'm going to talk about two very important people in this generation, past generations, that have brought, when you want to create legacy for your family and that you don't want to fail. There's a right and there's a wrong. Everybody knows the Vanderbilt family, right? He was the richest person in the world back many, 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 many years ago. He owned so much real estate. They did so much that they were the highest family that had created something, first family that brought in wealth to their family. Well, guess what? He didn't have any kind of legacy plan behind. He made billions of dollars. When he died, he left his son. It's still not really known, but it's anywhere between $90 to $105 million. And his son did something with it. He was his father. He was hustling. He really made it, brought up the family, lasted 9 years, and he died. When he died, that next generation, guess what? They wanted to have fun. They were like, oh, I'm a billionaire. I don't need to do nothing. I'm going to go be a socialite. I'm going to go have a blast. I'm going to do whatever I want. I don't need to work. I don't need to go to school. Why? Because they didn't leave behind no trust, no plan, no nothing. They didn't teach them how to run a business. They didn't talk to them about their business. It was all hush-hush, what we have. And when they leave, an open gate of money just started gushing, and they didn't know what to do with it. They just had fun. So what happened? The third generation completely vanished this money. Today, they have things that are under their name, but they don't own it. It's all managed by public money. It's not theirs. So wrong, right? What to do wrong. Now let's talk about the Rockefellers. The same exact time, they both became millionaires at the same exact time, the Vanderbilts and the Rockefellers. But guess what? The Rockefellers was very organized, created a legacy plan, knew what they wanted. They knew they wanted a legacy to be left behind and continued for generations to come. So what did they do? They did what I'm doing today. They left a plan, they left a trust, they left a will, they left managements, they did everything. Today, that was in 2022, they were in the 6th. Today, they're in the 7th generation. And $22 billion in their charity foundation, and still growing. And that whole family, whether politically or not, they're right or wrong, I don't get involved with that. I'm just talking about the plan that they put together and where they're at today. They're 7 generations strong. So knowing what you want from the money you create is up to you, right? You want to have one, you don't want to have it, there's some people that say, hey, I busted my butt and this money is going to be for all for me, and I don't care if they spend it or not. That's okay. That's fine as well. It's up to you. It's what you want. But if you want to do it right and you do want to leave a legacy behind, you want to create that generational wealth, make sure that you do it properly. Because I didn't know about this until just 5 or 6 years ago that I met with Richard Branson. Had no clue. And we were already making money, but I didn't really care. I don't know. It wasn't something that I was really thinking about. So if you really want to, and you really have that desire of leaving generational wealth legacy behind, and even a legacy, guys, just saying that you want your family from generations to come to know that you were a philanthropist and that you did whatever, it's still a plan that you could leave behind. So legacy lessons in order to protect your wealth. This one here, number 1, is mine. It's not really, doesn't really reside well with everybody. And I'm going to tell you why. I say keep the money together. For me, my family, my daughter and my son, and this was part of their input when we did our legacy plan, was when we pass away, 50% of the money is not 50% for my daughter, 50% for my son. Yes, they're going to own 50% each, but they're not going to split it. Because when you split it, that's when the problems come in. That's when the legacy breaks. You broke the legacy at that point. There's no legacy to run because now your daughter or your son, whatever, one child is going to do whatever the heck they want with the money. They could spend it, they could invest it, they could do whatever, and then the other one could do whatever, but then one fails, then the other one's going to be crying and coming to the other one, and then the other one's going to tell him, nope, that was your problem, not mine, I don't care. So for me and our family, we've decided that keeping the money together in one pot, and they have rules and regulations and all that stuff, was very important to keep the unity of our family for generations to come. For it to feel like togetherness, not that I own this and you own this and I'm that. No, that for me is not what I wanted. That's not part. So when I sat down with my family, this just happened when we sat down, we all agreed that we were gonna keep it all in one pot and they would use it as needed. And even, get this, even that we talked to, my daughter doesn't want to be in real estate. She creates a business, she still wants it to be under the tree of our family tree. She owns it, it's her business, my son won't have anything to do with it, but it's still under the family tree. So it's still something that we're gonna continue as the generation continues. Hiring a financial professional to create the trust, the estates, the wills, the asset protections, the measurement, a must. You can't do it alone. Trust me, even if you think that you could go buy those wills and that you do it yourself, and completely different. So completely different. So make sure that if you are doing this, that you're doing it the right way. Hiring a legacy consulting coach has been amazing. So much stuff that we have learned from them that we didn't even think of. Setting guidelines to direct how the money could be allocated and ensure the continuum of wealth is what we were just talking about. That, you know, they could do businesses. You leave laws and regulations of how they could be using this money. Buying life insurance for each of your family members. This year, everybody's afraid of doing it. I don't want to buy a life insurance. Oh, that's going to bring bad luck to my family. Whatever. I get it. It's not nice. It's too expensive. I don't want to. But when you hire your financial planners, there's trust taxes that they charge your kids when you unfortunately leave this earth that takes away half of your wealth. Unfortunately, this country takes away half. So having a life insurance to be able to cover that expense that is huge, it's a life changer when it comes down to wanting to leave all of this wealth or whatever you've created for your family. So really consider it, and if you talk to a really good financial planner, they're going to tell you the same thing, because it's just, we can't stop that. That's something that the government has put in place, and we can't take it away. So putting that life insurance, even on your young children, it's very important. So perpetuating the wealth. So investing time to create a legacy mindset. We all need to create this, guys. And somebody asks me, I just started. I'm a beginner entrepreneur. I'm only making $50,000 a year. So that doesn't mean that you can't leave legacy behind. That doesn't mean that you can't have the mindset to create it, right? Because we all want to leave some type of legacy, like I said. So it's never too early. You always talk about legacy mindset, because the more you talk and the more you are able to turn that mind into that PMA, into that non-refundable minutes, into the fucking rack, you're going to get that whole family ecosystem, even your partners, even everybody. That ecosystem is going to follow that. So that mindset is super important to have. Family retreats and meetings, meeting with your children, your spouse, like I said, about communicating, about talking about anything that you feel that you need to in order to bring this unitedly together for your family, for your spouse is very important. We try to do it at least once a month. Passing on values so that your family vision doesn't stop with you. And this is that legacy that we want to leave behind, because we don't want it to stop here. We want our kids, our grandkids, our great-great-grandkids to have the same mindset, to continue it, to want to contribute, to make it happen, to continue. So when my great-great-great-grandkids start, they want to have their own 100-year legacy. So that mindset keeps on rolling. It never stops. Family mission statement, I think is very important. Like I said, if you see mine, my kids were always mad at me because I wanted them to run our business and I didn't understand it. So now they have it clear. Do what you got to do. Just do it right. Just do it with full power. Attack it. Do it at your 100%. As long as you do that, that's all that matters. That's all that matters.